Hi, I'm Sean Turner. I'm the finance editor at Hotel News Now, sitting here at the lodging conference with Eric Danziger, President and CEO of Wyndham Hotel Group. Eric, thanks very much for taking some time for us.
Well, thanks for having me, Sean.
Absolutely. So, want to start off, obviously you guys had your brand conference last week, several major announcements. So I'll talk a lot about Howard Johnson and kind of the revitalization of that brand. Hoping you can talk a little bit about where that stands and a little bit of the thought processes that went into revitalizing.
I will. Thanks very much. To me, Howard Johnson's is a huge piece of Americana. You think about that brand, whether you're in the hotel business or just a tourist, it resonates with generations of people who used to drive around and pull up at the orange roof and have ice cream and hot dogs and all that sort of thing. And it felt to me a little bit like the Converse tennis shoe brand, where once upon a time as a kid I wore Converse and it went kind of stagnant for a few years and now everyone wears Converse. I felt like we had that same opportunity with Howard Johnson. But what we wanted to do is play on its tradition but make it relevant for today's users as well. So we have spent about 2.5 years and a couple $1 million in focus groups and designers trying to do what we call a look to the future with a nod to the past. So where it is now, we've designed it. We'll create a couple of prototypes here in the next several months, real live prototypes. Test it out because you can test the concept, but it's a lot easier to test a physical product and roll it out. I can guarantee you'll see the old roof line that you used to be familiar with, and there'll be ice cream again at Howard Johnson. So we're very, very excited about it.
So talk a little bit about, obviously the baby boomer generation, very familiar with the brand. There's a lot of equity in the brand, but talk a little bit about what you're doing to try to appeal to the millennial traveler, obviously a very sought after customer sect for hotels. Talk a little bit about how you're trying to appeal to them.
So retro, to some extent, if you don't overdo it, is cool with every generation. And so, for instance, my original idea, although smarter people than I straightened it out, was why can't you have a 35-inch flat TV screen, but in an old console you might have grown up with at the house? So it would have modern conveniences that the millennials and everyone else wants, but have this different kind of feeling than any other property. We didn't go that far, but there is some kind of take where there's some cool, fun, different things happen. It has all the conveniences you need, whether it's hi-fi and all that, but has some unique characteristics in the room, for example, whether it's some furniture or some wall treatment. So I think it's going to appeal to every kind of traveler for every kind of need, and that's what our job is with our brands, is to provide relevant, meaningful opportunities for them to enjoy a stay.
Also, during the conference last week, there was a lot of talk about Microtel and Travelodge and the refresh. So can you talk a little bit about what went into those redesigns? In
Microtel's case, it's a refresh. We added the by Wyndham because we believe, of course, that the brand is very consistent. It's an 11-time J.D. Power Award winner. But we should always keep it a little fresh. So, it wasn't a lot of change to Microtel. It was more of a design and some features there. But each of our brands will undergo that. Ramada is next on my list for a major revamp like we're doing with Howard Johnson. Ramada internationally is a fantastic brand. As I mentioned this morning, we've done a nice job with Ramada in North America, but we extended the brand from high to low. And that's confusing for the consumer. So we're going to be more clear about Ramada being a 3-star full service brand, so it's more aligned with our international product.
My last question, if we're having this another conversation next year at the lodging conference, what's going to be the major topic of discussion?
I don't think the topic's ever going to change. I do think it'll always be about financing, refinancing, access to capital, because whether or not you want to build a hotel, buy a hotel, or refurbish a hotel, it takes money.
Well, Eric, thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
Great to see you. Happy to spend time with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.